All right. Hey, fuck the banter. Let's talk about this leveling shit.
Yeah.
We're going to do a time hop. But you're saying we're going to do a time hop and we're not going to level at all. And I feel like they would have advanced something. Like,
I don't want to even entertain that. Like, I'm not going into a time hop at level 6. I just refuse.
Can we siphon the experience points from the B team to the A team?
That's interesting.
So welcome back to the Zero Check Podcast, episode 117. You've caught me in the middle of a player revolt. I have 4 men in this channel that are angry at me. And for those of you at home that run your own games, you should listen to your players when they're unhappy with you and when they're telling you something that needs to change. So
yeah, it's in the book.
Yeah, that's like part of the Paizo,
like page 2
Paizo stuff. Listen to your players. So, gentlemen, it sounds to me, let me see if I'm saying this correctly. It sounds to me like the proposed time hop that we'd like to do to advance the kingdom up to 6th level, you would like to instead go to 7th level and then advance the kingdom to 7th level as well, or 6th level, or, we want the kingdom to match the player level. So I want to make sure I understand.
Well, the position is 5 years have gone by and we've done nothing.
Has it been 5 years?
Well, we're going to jump 5
year.
years.
Right.
You're going to jump 5 more than a year. Yeah. The beast was killed a year ago in the game's continuity.
Right. But now we're a year later.
Yeah. We're a year after the beast was killed.
2 years since we were level 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're saying, how can we in 2 years go to 6th level? And then I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. What I can tell you is that the module assumes that you go into part 5 at level 6.
Okay.
And in fact, the module even entertains that you fight the beast at 5th and possibly level off of the beast, which would have been a really roaring encounter. I think that maybe your guys are just running a kingdom for 5 years and that there's not a lot of meaningful challenges that you face from a combat standpoint.
Wow.
You've got other teams of people working for you now. Would you be like Captain Kirk and be the away team and go down to the planet and do your own shit? Or would you
don't just gain experience for combat. You gain it for being diplomatic.
So you get better with your swords and stuff by being diplomatic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But when Og levels up, he doesn't get, it's not just like he's been lifting weights, right? Like he gets smarter. He learns a new language. He gets more well-rounded.
Yeah. And his proficiency goes up, right? With all of his attack weapons and everything.
Well, that's true as well.
But look.
Yeah. The
fellas,
BAB just happens to go up.
All right. So here's the deal. If you guys want to go to 7th level, I guess is it unanimous?
It'll all just scale up, guys. I mean, like,
you're gonna put the hard template on the monsters. I
will. Yeah, I have to, because otherwise, we have to. I want you guys to have challenges. I want to cause you to have to think through things and not just walk up and know that you can just roll
fair.
it.
I think we're just really excited about 7 because, like level 5,
a lot of shit,
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of a step up with what you get.
I think we've said our piece. We can go with level 6. I think it makes sense. I'll need to find somewhere in my head on why 0 growth could have taken place over a year, and we just picked back up where we are. But I'll deal with that in my head. Maybe got tatted up. He got a bad infection, and he was laid up.
Yeah, dude.
For a period of time. He got rhinovirus.
How about maybe 5 years of peace caused you guys to go a little soft?
Just use the high school excuse. You got mono.
I got mono. Yeah.
You got mono.
Og had mono for 5 years. It was fucking terrible, but he's back now.
Well, look, fellas, if it's important to you, I want you to be happy.
I just want you to know we're watching the timer.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be level 7, and you just need to stop being so fucking stingy with your levels. That's all I'm requesting.
Huh. Okay. Well,
give a little, Mike. Just you
noted.
Mike's just gonna be like, fuck it. You guys are level 20. Just do whatever the fuck you want. I don't even care anymore.
Here's the module. Play your own fucking game.
Oh, look, it's Lantern King. Have fun.
Oh, look, you one-shotted him again. Aren't you guys fucking awesome adventurers?
All right, let's go.
Fellas,
Are we being ornery?
Well, no, I respect you, You guys are my buds. I want you to be happy. I'm telling you, things are going to go better if we stay at 6.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll trust you.
For a while.
I fucking hate you.
I just was taking a look.
At least.
I was just taking a look. Donnie, do you remember when we ran Age of Ashes book 2?
Yeah.
Do you remember the grind that was the jungle?
I do.
We spent, a year of game time in the jungle. All right. So maybe something like that is coming to, I don't know, guys, but I
want it noted. This is what, 117? Episode 117?
Episode 117.
117. In like 3 or 4 episodes when Donnie dies, I want to remember this conversation because he may have survived at level 7.
Yeah.
Well, but bear in mind, if I take you to 7th, I'm putting the elite template on things, so it just is the same. In fact, the elite template's a +2. So it's even a little harder for 7th, but what choice do I have? You guys are hitting we've talked about this before. The adventure is going to evolve a little bit. It used to be this situation where you're kind of greener, lower level guys. You're moving around the stolen lands and you're dealing with the mundane stuff that occurs in the stolen lands while getting to know the area and preparing yourselves to lead a kingdom. Today, especially after this time hop, the vibe of this game is going to change. The day-to-day crap, you have people for that now. And there's going to be policy decisions that you guys are making and resource allocation decisions. And then sometimes big things are going to happen. And that's what warrants the king and his court to ride out themselves and go take a look. Unless you guys want to go ride around the stolen land still and knock over hexes and stuff. I mean, you tell me, but I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
So here's the concern, right? I don't know if you've heard of the concept of the wooden shoes and the silk slippers for an empire, right? As you're building the empire, you get your wooden shoes going up the stairs. You're tough and you're hardy and you're stomping. But then after a while, you get upstairs and you made it, and now you put on your silk slippers and you're comfy. And now next time you try to go down the stairs, oh shit, you fall. So what I'm worried is our 5 years of like, have we entered our silk slipper phase? Are we soft and or are we past the empire building and we're starting in the decline already? That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, I don't know. A 6th level kingdom has the ability to have multiple towns that all can contain up to 1,000 people. So, I mean, you may have 4, 5, 6,000 subjects, after this time hop. Just saying.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be fun to do. We've talked a little bit more of like intrigue, right? Type things. There's some diplomacy and maybe foreign relations that we have to deal with. So I think that'll be an interesting angle to look at.
Well, should I read the agenda that I prepared? My very good agenda.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Item 1 was leveling grievance, which we've done. I'm not quite sure where we landed on that. I've given my recommendation, but I do think maybe let's revisit this, because sometimes I can just kind of move on. If I think I can just move on, you guys notice this about me. I'll just kind of move on sometimes. Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to go to 7th? Because if you want to go to 7th post time hop, then I will make that happen for you.
If you're going to make everything elite template, then now let's just wait.
Yep. It wouldn't be everything. What I would do is some things would be elite, some things wouldn't.
I threw my fit. If I get it now, I don't want it.
The thing with Kingmakers is that we tried experience points, and it became apparent to me that you guys were going to outpace the content. There's a lot of this. I mean, the module's gigantic, and that's a good thing.
I want to keep it a challenge the whole way. Like I like the challenges that we've had. I think it's appropriate. Like I don't want to change that level.
But I think you see where I'm going. It's gigantic, which means we sit for a long time at a certain power level to do everything you guys want to do. Mm-hmm. That's what we're running into. And I don't mean that as a criticism of the module, but groups just have to find what works for them.
That makes sense.
Okay. So that's the result of the leveling grievance. Why don't we just take it up? Again, if you guys want to. The second item on this list is the retraining. I offline offered you guys, in lieu of level 7, actually, as I recall, I offered you guys.
You're just so giving.
He's a giver.
Yeah, I'm a giver. I giveth and I enjoyeth. I don't knoweth what it meaneth. Why are you guys letting me still talk? I offered you guys, in lieu of level 7, I offered you, over the course of this next year, a full retrain. And I offered free archetype to Drei and Mitch and Og to bring them to the same power level as Sirio, who currently has a free archetype. So I thought we could go through that. You guys have built up your dudes. And I also thought this was a good way to represent sort of the power disparity between A-team characters and other alts that you guys have. Your A-team dudes have free archetype. And you guys want to just give us the highlights so the listeners kind of know what to expect, and anything notable that changed would be really helpful.
So Sirio's been rolling with the free archetype for quite a while now at this point, and it's the were creature dedication because I'm a freaking werewolf. It's kind of a weird combination with the sorcerer. There's not a whole lot of synergy, but there's a whole lot of flavor. So yeah, he can transform into like this hybrid wolf man, and he can also go full wolf. I've taken a couple of extra feats that let you run faster in the wolf form. I can do imprecise scent, low light vision. So it kind of gives me things that a normal human wouldn't have.
I love the hybrid form. It's so cool.
With the free archetype, I was able to pick up some extra sorcerer feats from the remaster. And probably the coolest one is propelling sorcery. So when one of the spells triggers blood magic, I can either take a 5-foot step or I could push one of the targets 5 feet in any direction. So
that's pretty freaking cool.
That's really neat.
So it's like an athletics check with spell modifiers or something, just to kind of push
it just
people
happens when blood magic happens.
You can just force movement on a creature. Yep. Holy crap.
That's really
cool. Sirio is scary. That's scary. Imagine that.
Battlefield control is crazy.
Just pushing people around, pushing people into flanks. Holy crap. Who's next?
Yeah. So Mitch, over the past year, has been doing a lot of construction. I think we talked about him doing a lot of road construction and stuff. He noticed in that, like, he was able to use his armor to help, move stuff and lift things, but he realized quickly that it was easier to have 2 sets of hands. So he has switched over to, he now has a construct. So he's used parts of his armor to build himself a little helper, basically.
You changed innovations?
Yeah. So I switched innovations over to construct.
What? Do you got a little guy?
I got, I've got a little construct. His name is Bolton.
No way.
Bolton.
He looks like a giant bolt.
Oh, you knew to give it a cute name.
So he's done that. There's a couple other things he's changed. Level 6, I had taken dual weapon warrior, the dedication.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd just stick with that, go from level 2 and build it up from there. Thought it was kind of lame the first dip into it that I had at level 6. I mean, double slice is kind of cool, but some of the things that unlocked further, I'm really enjoying what it looks like. So he's been messing around with weapon sets as well. His old signature Roka swords might not be around as much.
Really? Mm-hmm. They're evil, I think, as we've established.
There will definitely be some reasons other than just the fact that he finds better combinations. But
so you did a feat dip at first level to take Roka swords in the first place. Do you still have that in the build?
I did, yes. I'll still have access to them. Yeah, I'll still be able to use the Roka sword whenever I need to. But it's kind of one of those, like, I don't know, I think he's, over the last year of peace, I guess, he's been able to reflect, on things that he's done and feelings that he had, like when combat was hot and heavy. I think one of the things that keeps him up at night is the sound of that baby owlbear dying. Oh, just like how. But I mean, just kind of like realizing that, man, I was really I was dipping pretty deep into the dark stuff there for a while and wondering if like these swords had any influence over that. So he's just giving himself a little
distance. You think the Roka swords caused you to kill that baby owlbear?
I think they did. It's easier to blame them than my bad decision making
than yourselves. I don't know. In hindsight, I'm kind of thankful we don't have to think about the baby owlbear anymore. I'd be having to think about what's the owlbear doing, And in 5 years, that's going to be an adolescent owlbear.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, that's the basics.
You guys want to hear about Og?
I do want to hear about Og.
So badly.
Og Julison Tompton. What changed with him? So originally, right, I had taken an archetype for Lore Master, so I'm keeping that. And then, so I added a rogue feat, adding Your Next. So, if he dies, we get a reaction out of that. That'll help. And then I took Quick Study at level 4, again, for the archetype for Lore Master. Just gives me some additional things I can do. And then took another class feat, Dread Striker. So that will, any creature is frightened, they'll also be off guard. That will help tremendously with action economy.
Whoa. As to you?
Yeah.
Off guard is to you.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
So other people can frighten,
Yes.
and then they go off guard to you.
Anybody demoralized or anybody frightened would be off guard.
Wow.
To
It's a
Og.
good synergy with like Sirio.
Absolutely, yeah. And then I took magical edification at level 6 as the free archetype. And what that's going to give me is you've learned those tidbits of magics that are most conducive to furthering your acquisition and transmission of knowledge. You gain guidance, message, and sigil as innate occult cantrips. So
Wow.
he can buff a little bit, just a little magic casting. So the other big change for Og, getting rid of that crossbow. And he spent a lot of time learning how to use a composite short bow. So yeah, no, he's going to definitely probably stick at range quite a bit more, just because he's got all those feats to get folks off guard and get sneak attack damage and all that stuff stacks. It'll be fun. It'll be fun once we get to doing stuff.
And both Mitch and Og, you guys tracked like pulling runes over, and you guys did all that stuff. And with a year of earn income stuff too, I'm not so concerned about some of these like level appropriate rune purchases and stuff too. I mean, do whatever seems reasonable.
I didn't create any new runes. I just transferred things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just transferred. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I almost forgot about Drei.
Don't forget about Drei. All right, so for the last year, Drei's been out in the wilderness, running around, doing ranger things, just checking like the perimeter of all the land the king owns, stopping and checking in Jathal, all our outposts, see what's going on.
Yeah, check in from time to time.
Yep, rolling around. I rearranged some class feats and picked up some more dueling stuff, but one of the class feats I did take was Initiate Warden, which gives me a spell.
What? Bill, casting a spell.
Drei's casting spells.
Drei's casting spells, and the spell Drei's going to cast is called Distracting Decoy. I create a fast-moving animal shape that I fling at my enemy, and if it's a success, if the creature fails the roll, he has a -2 penalty to attacks and is off guard.
Huh.
That's good.
Did you learn that when you were bouncing in Nashville?
Yep. I did. Just distracting people. And then I took Disrupt Prey, which is my hunted prey. If it uses a manipulate action of any kind, with a critical strike, I can stop whatever it's doing. Then I also took Dirty Trick. So Dirty Trick is I can manipulate my enemies. I have to attempt a thievery check against the target's reflex DC. But like if I succeed, the target is clumsy for 1 round. If I critically succeed, he's clumsy for 1 minute.
You're like pulling pants down like Mitchell?
Yep. Shirt cocking people.
You guys learned shirt cocking people. God damn, that's a good call.
I picked up the Ancestry feat Sense Allies because I feel like we're going to be around a bunch of people we don't know pretty soon. And then I took
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
Took another Advanced Warden feat. I unlocked more powerful spells. So I took an Advanced Warden feat at level 6. And the feat I took is Enlarged Companion. And if anybody's ever seen Bestial Wrath in World of Warcraft, you're gonna love this.
Oh, all right.
You're going to enlarge your pig?
A 12-foot pig running through the battlefield.
Fun.
I can't wait to grow that token up. I thought someone was going to make a dirty joke about enlarging their companion. I'm sorry, never mind. A large companion? So the boar gets bigger?
Yeah, your animal companion grows much larger, towering over its foes in battles. Your animal companion becomes large, gathering the effects of the 2nd rank enlarge spell.
Good Lord. He's going to have, I think he gets reach.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
when he gets large sized, I think he'll reach 10 feet. I think his strength mod goes up. I think his AC might go down.
I can't wait for the "why are you attacking my pig" comments when this giant pig is like
huge.
he's not doing anything.
It means it's going to be even louder too.
Fuck yeah. I just took that just for Brad, by the way.
That's marvelous.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Is that only your animal companion, or can you enlarge the construct companion?
Just mine. Brad's out of luck.
I'm fine with the size of my construct. I
Oh
don't have
my
any problems
God,
with
you
it.
guys, all this crap's going to be able to board. Well, I think that's cool. I think that it's neat that you guys kind of honed your characters and everything over this year, did a retrain and stuff. That's cool. And do you guys want to get back to the game? You guys
Let's play some
I feel
Pathfinder.
like it's really been a year since we played with these characters. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Well, gosh, I mean, I think we did 15 episodes with the B team?
Did we?
Something
Yeah,
like
that
that.
sounds right.
Yeah. Something about that. Yeah. It was
It's
a
right
minute.
around 102, 103, I think.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So, and I love those
I
guys.
do want to kind of note that the B team's still only level 3.
No, they leveled.
Actually, they are level 7, actually.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're fine. There's not a just kidding. I want to pick up the night of the briefing. Mitch interrogated Cormac and the other players, the B team guys, and then of course that courier arrives from King Sertova of Brevoy, inviting or summoning, whatever term you want to use, summoning you to the abandoned Fort Serenko, like next week for a meeting. So he's provided you a communication that gives you a time and a place, and it seems to be a formal request to meet. I picture you guys sitting around in the side room. You tell me what other NPCs are there. I want to know what you guys are doing. What are your priorities?
I think it's just us.
Lindsay's probably there.
Yeah.
For taking notes and
Sure.
keeping track in history.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm here.
I think I was like, guys, it's crazy. Like we've been like for a year, like, there's been like nothing going on, and like suddenly we get this briefing and all this shit's going on, and then we get summoned to this other king. Like it's just a crazy time around the kingdom. Suddenly, I'm like, there's just so much going on.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I guess let's tackle these issues one at a time. I guess what are we going to do about these reports? I think last time I mentioned sending, a handful of guards to reinforce the NPCs we kind of ditched at those spots.
Stationed.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yes, that we stationed at the old Sycamore and the Elk, not the Elk Lodge, the
Temple of the Elk.
Temple of the Elk. Elk Lodge is something different.
Temple of the Elk and Candlemere Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitch would agree with that. He's going to mention that he's going to do calculations on the amount of water that's in that pool to make sure see if that really is something that is a threat. If there's, he's basically just going to run the numbers on it, which is silly because I think Cormac probably already completely did all that, but he just wants to double check the math.
It's like a footnote that has you go to Appendix C at the end of that, stack of parchment.
Yeah. It's one of those footnotes that takes up a page below the line.
Yeah.
You ever seen those?
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, I mean, is Mitch going to inspect the location himself?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really, Sirio's going to stop you right there because we've got a week until we got to have this meeting. So I'm all for going and inspecting it, but we got to.
No. Yeah, for sure. Like he knows that there's more pressing issues, but like he definitely has interest in going there to check it out.
Does the king bring up the meeting?
Yeah. Really, after we talk about that big report debrief thing. Yeah. So I've kind of been pondering it while you guys were discussing the report, and there's really two options. Either I can go with a couple of you guys and a small contingent of House Guard, or we send an envoy. Since this was a personal invite, I'm leaning more toward going ourselves.
I would like to head out a few days earlier with a small contingent. I just want to look around. I want to check the traps. I want to make sure that, he's not sending an advance guard.
Yeah, and really, I thought a little bit about that, and I'd like you to take Jathel with you, along with a squad of 8 of our best guards. And really, not just in scouting out the location, but kind of not really waiting or hiding in ambush, but just kind of being a backup force, kind of a contingency if something goes south, that you'd have some kind of universal signal you could give Jathel to call her in.
Can I tell you guys what you know about Fort Serenko?
Yeah.
Sure.
You've been here before, and let's talk a little bit about the history of Fort Serenko. You might recall that Fort Serenko, there's a misprint in the book that inverts the waterfall and Fort Serenko.
Oh, yeah.
So whereas you discovered the Stag Lord necklace, when we played through, you discovered it in this waterfall cave. You really actually discovered that at Fort Serenko. And Fort Serenko is, it's corrected now on the Stolen Lands map. Yeah, I see someone pinging it there. It's actually a wonderful defensive position where the Shrike River and another river both kind of meet here to create, would that be called a delta or something, I think? And Fort Serenko sits there with a river to the north, another river to the east, and another river to the west, and there's land to the south. Fort Serenko, for those of you at home, it's a few days' ride northeast of Fort Trand. Probably about a week's journey, maybe a little less than a week. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe King Noleski Sertova is his name, by the way. Maybe Noleski knew that and was like, they're going to have to hurry. Fort Serenko itself, there's not a lot of structure left. There's a wall. It's a rectangular structure that used to have houses and a keep inside of it. It's all been leveled. And really all that's left of Fort Serenko is just the outer keep wall. So if you get in there, it's just a large open space. That's what you know.
Fantastic.
Cool.
So Drei, since it's a week's travel away, Drei wants to leave like now.
Yeah, really. I'll dispatch Drei and Jathel to assemble the team and kind of go out there. And while Drei's doing that, I think our little people, Og and Lindsay, should do as much research on Brevoy nobility as possible. Really, what I want to know is if there are any of the various Brevoy houses doing any kind of infighting, or really anything that could give us some insider knowledge as leverage during this meeting.
Yeah, I figured Og would go grab Jubilost and they would go do just deep dive
he's
research.
A little person. Yeah. He can come too.
So I've already told you, I think that it's general knowledge that Brevoy is in some turmoil right now politically. You're not sure. I haven't told you how any houses might play into that, but what you know is that Brevoy, the land that is now Brevoy, really used to be two regions, Restov and Izia, I think it's called. Restov, which is like where Jamandi Aldori is from, is the southern area, and then Izia is the northern area. You know that like 20 years ago, King Noleski Sertova united both of these regions, and House Sertova took on the crown. These two regions are beginning to peel apart. The power imbalance is starting to become bad. And you know that the southern region, Restov, is beginning to outshine the northern region of Izia, and that's creating problems for Noleski Sertova. I would like Og to make 2 society checks to represent probably the 24 hours of research time that you're getting before you have to set out.
All right. So that's going to be a natural 15 plus 12. So 27 for the first one.
Great.
And, not quite as good. Total of 18 on the second.
Okay. Well, you want to do the fun stuff? Let's talk about King Noleski Sertova's titles. He holds numerous titles, including the King of all Brevoy in the name of Coral, the Lord of Vissia, the Prince of Rossland, the Suzerain of New Stetsvin, the Overlord of Restov, the Defender of the Lake of the Mists and the Vales, the Regent of the Dragon Scale Throne, Blood of the Conqueror, Overlord and rightful King of all Brevoy, King Regent of Brevoy, and finally, head of House Sertova. One of those titles matters to King Sirio Sertova, of course.
That is remarkably close to my email signature. It's crazy how similar that is. Yeah.
You know that King Noleski is a bachelor, and he has been pressured to marry and produce an heir for years, much to the consternation of his sister. Yes, there is a sister, Natala Sertova. His sister. Natala appears to want King Noleski to remain a bachelor because as a bachelor, Natala serves as the kingdom's de facto queen. She would be displaced if Noleski were to ever marry. And of course, if Natala were to produce an heir, that heir would be deprived if King Noleski himself had an heir. So that's another dynamic. You know that Noleski is a good king, but that politically, he's maybe not the brains. You think Natala Sertova is the brains between the two of them. And you wouldn't be surprised if she was either behind this or was perhaps around even at Fort Serenko when you get there. Otherwise, both Natala and Noleski are people of power. They're advanced. You don't think that either has a particular prowess in battle, but that they are very good bureaucrats, very good administrators. I mean, Brevoy, in the 20 years that Noleski has ruled, has done well. My impression is that this turmoil that's hit Brevoy, Noleski can solve it if he can do what he wants to do, if he can get there. You know what I'm saying? As far as the houses themselves, look, they're picking sides. They're not necessarily picking sides against King Noleski Sertova. Some houses identify more with Izia. Some houses identify more with the Rossland region. And it seems about 50-50.
Sounds like maybe there's still politicking going on and people are still figuring out sides and maybe what is the fight if there's going to be a fight? What's the relationship with Lady Jumanji and the king?
What you know is that Jamandi Aldori, she's responsible for your kingdom coming up, right? Not only that, but Fort Draliv and Varnhold, Maker Varn's area. Really, the three of you guys have a foothold now, and Jamandi Aldori is directly responsible for all three of you. She issued all three of you charters. She did that using resources, and those resources came from the Restov region. So what you know, I guess, is that your three kingdoms represent a connection to Restov's power and influence, perhaps creating an imbalance with the Isia region, which is responsible for none of this expansion. Now, you know that Jamandi Eldori has a good relationship with Noleski Sertova. After all, she was able to tap into Brevoy resources, which then went on to you guys. Now, whether Sertova and Jamandi Eldori are close now, given this new civil strife going on in Brevoy, you don't know.
Wouldn't we be getting communication from her, from Drei? Like, aren't they? Isn't like Drei like an agent of hers? Like, was that something that would there be communication there?
Yes, and what you know is that about 6 months ago, Jamandi went quiet.
Oh,
Maybe while Jathel's and the troops are at Fort, I'll just run over to Rostov real quick and see what she has to say about the current situation in Brevoy, and then meet the king back at the...
I don't think you'll have time for that to get there and back.
Unless you ride hard or
Well,
something.
I'm just saying, like, I'll drop Jathel off and then go and come back, and that should be... Because I'm leaving before you guys. Like, I'm leaving today.
It's about a 6-day ride to Serenko.
Then another 4 or 5 days from there to Rostov.
Is it 4
Yeah, I
or
think if
5?
it's road or flat, you can do 2 hexes with a horse.
Sure.
That's true.
day.
That's what we said.
But,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
still, it's...
It'd be tight.
Yeah, you can get to the... Yeah, you could probably make Serenko in one...
There's no roads that to there. It's just river.
Yeah, I think with the roads you have and the hexes that they're in, you can make Fort Serenko now in 5 days, which means you can get there 2 days early if you do normal traveling and you take the roads.
Is there a way to get a message to Rostov quickly?
I mean, you have a courier ride hard. I don't know. I just don't think there's time.
I'm still going to leave for the fort, set up some ambushes.
Yep. And then really along with that, I'd ask if Mitchell could attach to Drei and Jathel, but instead of kind of setting up a perimeter, I'd like to task Mitchell and really some laborers to create kind of a fallback defensive position.
Absolutely.
Probably about a mile outside the fort.
Okay, to the south.
Yeah, to the south.
Or towards Oleg's. If we have to find like a solid place to go quickly, Oleg's would probably be faster than...
They took down all the walls though, so it's just a town now.
And they'd be able to cut us off between getting back to Shrikehaven as well.
Well, and by the way, Nettles Crossing might be the only place to cross the Shrike River, too.
Maybe we set up that as our fallback.
Can we bring some canoes?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Because we can just drop them in the river and fucking go.
It's upstream. Yes, it is. It's upstream.
Okay, so yeah, maybe we bring boats for if we have to make a tactical
You can
retreat.
escape.
Yeah.
On boats.
Yeah, I like it. And so while the party's doing that stuff, I would like to sow a rumor about Noleski Sertova. I've got the sow rumor skill feat.
Okay.
I'd like to
Amazing.
spread misinformation that King Sertova's great grandfather had several illegitimate children.
Oh,
That is the rumor I would like to sow. So I think according to the skill feat, Mike, you need to make a secret deception check for me.
What is your mod?
Plus 15.
Okay. You want me to use Old Yeller or do you want me to use my blue?
It's whatever you feel you should roll.
All right. I've rolled.
You spread rumors which may or may not be true about a specific subject. If the subject of your rumor is not currently the subject of any contradictory rumors, this takes as long as it would normally take you to gather information. So it's kind of like
Easy.
If other people are gathering information, they may pick up this rumor instead of the true things.
Okay.
And depending on how big or outlandish the rumor is, it takes more time to spread and all that. But I want to kind of seed this out there.
Well,
Okay.
And let's be honest. He probably has spies in Fort trained. He's the ruler of a Brevoy.
Yeah.
So he has spies in Fort trained. He does.
Of course.
Yep. So the GM rolls a secret deception check against a DC they set to see how well you spread the rumor. If it matches other rumors currently being spread about the target, it takes less time to spread. Critical success, your rumor spreads like wildfire. Anyone who succeeds at a check to gather information on the specific subject learns the rumor in preference to other rumors. Your rumor it lasts a month. And you get +2 to deception, diplomacy, and intimidate if a situation arises which invokes the rumor.
Okay.
Success, you spread the rumor, blah, blah, blah. We can get into that if it comes up.
Okay. You take steps and you do this over the course of about the day or two you have probably before you need to set out.
So what exactly is the rumor?
I want to spread a rumor that Noleski's great-grandfather had several illegitimate children.
Oh.
With the connection that people may make being that Noleski might be one of those.
Interesting.
Or there could be other Sertovas out in the wind that may have a better claim.
Do you hear about that slut Noleski?
Oh, I got to tell you something else about Noleski. You know, he's been on the throne now 21 years. So he's about 60 years old. So he's, you know, you guys are kind of like elder millennials, you know, and he's a young boomer. He's different than you guys too. He's older. He's getting too old and he has no heir. He has no one.
I know who can take his throne.
Yeah, and I'm a Zoomer.
Yeah, you're a Zoomer.
That's
right.
I'm a Zoomer also.
Yeah.
So I can start using Zoomer words now when I talk to him. I don't know any.
Yeah, call him bruh.
Bruh. Hey, bruh.
My 5-year-old son came home from kindergarten and I was like, how was your day? And he was like, it was good, bruh. And I was like, fuck, did you just say? What?
Did you just bro your father?
Who says bruh to me?
Bruh.
Bruh?
Bruh.
Whatever. I like all of this. Okay, so we've got a defensive position a mile south of Fort Serenko. Drei and Jathel are going to scope out Fort Serenko, and then Lindsay and Og travel with the king to Fort Serenko, each taking about 8 guards with them.
Yeah, so Mitch and a couple laborers will travel with Drei and the first group, and they'll still stop a mile short and start building palisades and putting boats in the water.
So that next morning, Drei, Mitch, and Jathel leave, and they begin their journey north along the roads, eventually cutting to the east toward Fort Serenko. Sirio Sertova, I guess I need to specify now. Sirio Sertova, Lindsay, Og, Julius, and Tompton hang back a day or so. They're doing research, they're spreading rumors, they're getting ready to go. And then they intend to hit upon Fort Serenko at the appointed time and date. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we want to bring like 12, 15, like house guards.
Sure. Yeah, and at this point you have that. All right, good. This happens. Let's get Mitch and his laborers. Well, you guys tell me. My assumption is maybe Mitch and Drei and Jathel separate a few miles out from the fort.
Yep.
Mitch goes to the south, and let's get the crafting check for the defensive fortifications.
Be a 33.
It's high.
That's a pretty high roll.
It's high. I'm going to say that they're fantastic. They're good. I don't know what to tell you. That's a good roll. You step back and you're like, oh, that looks good. Like, you just know.
It's an extreme home makeover Palisade edition, right?
Palisade edition, yeah. Okay, Drei and Jathel. Let's talk through what happens. So let's pick you guys up, a couple football fields length away from the fort. You see it there down the way. What do you do?
I'm going to tell everybody to hang back a little bit, and I'm going to stealth my way around, sneak up to it, take a look inside, see if I can find anybody, see if there's anybody there. I'll send Jathel and like 2 or 3 guys over across the river, check the outer banks, the other side, see if there's anybody over there. Just like a general recon of the entire area, front to back, top to bottom.
Okay.
And then also while we're doing this, we're looking for like quick routes out of the building itself. So like you said, there's walls there. So like, is there like a crack in the wall here where we could yank the king through if, they come rushing through the front door? Just, general how to get out of Dodge the best way. And is there anybody already here looking for us?
So you begin to approach quietly. Jathel and her 1 or 2 guards begin also engaging in these efforts. Very quickly, you hear and it's Jathel wanting to get your attention. And she's not too far from you, but of course, you're both trying to be sneaky right now. Do you head her way, or what do you do?
Yeah, she's in full armor. I'm not. I'm in leather, so I'm going to creep towards her very stealthily.
You get to her. Takes you a couple of minutes. And she speaks to you in a low voice, concealed in the reeds. And she says, 20 to 30 soldiers within the fort. They're not attempting to hide themselves, and it looks like they're building some kind of stage. Right dead center. Are you wearing those pants I picked out for you? They look good.
Well...
Does Jathel dress dry? Did we just establish that?
Look, sometimes he's running late in the morning. That's disgusting. She's cold. Ugh.
Cold as ice.
So Dry's going to make an executive
He's willing to
decision.
sacrifice.
Willing to sacrifice their love.
What is this going to do to Sirio's rulership? Dry's going to talk to her, and he's going to be like, all right, spread the guys around in the field as much as you can. And then he's just going to fucking stand up, put his sword in his fucking sheath, and walk directly in the building.
Nice. Nice. Colmay walks in. All right. You approach, and as you approach, there are guards, multiple guards, men and women in armor, regalia, that are milling around, and they see you and they stand up. Not like at attention, but they stand up like they begin guarding, you know, instead of just kind of sitting there. Make a perception check.
You wearing the stag helm?
Yeah, I'm always wearing that ugly fucking thing.
Yeah.
Say 22 on my perception.
All right. You think you could take out 4 or 5 of them.
Fuck yes.
You don't think you could take out 20. These are soldiers. These are not like...
These aren't heroes.
One-on-one would be trivial. Like you're sizing them up.
They're decorative. They're decorative soldiers. I'm not trying to find anybody. I'm just trying to find somebody who's in charge.
They stand up and one of them in particular, you over here tell another, let them know the general's here. Let them know Shrikehaven General has arrived.
How do they know it's a general?
Oh, dude, people know you.
Dude, people know me. I got a reputation.
I suppose
Brad.
you get the helmet on. Yeah.
Yeah. And a young boy who's there kind of goes, "Oi!" And he runs off. He runs into the fort. And eventually a couple more guards come out. And one of them in particular steps forward and asks you to identify yourself.
I'm General Colmay from Fort Trand, here to make sure that the fort's being set up properly for the meeting between the kings.
I'm not even going to make you roll deception. I mean, it seems to be what's going on here. I mean, you're scoping it out. You're invited inside this fort, and you walk in, and it's just the palisades that are up, like I said, and it's about a quarter of a football field.
Yeah.
It's not huge, but it's not small. And just like Jathel and her spotters said, it looks like a stage is being constructed with a couple tables, almost like a meeting area where like 2 parties can sit down and talk, and refreshments are kind of they're like in cold storage, they're available, and there's no sign of Noleski Sertova, no sign of Natala Sertova, but a man steps forward and he identifies himself. His name is Rundell, and Rundell tells you, he goes, "General, see, we might have had the same thought. I work high up for Noleski Sertova. I'm here as his forward guard to set up the fort for discussions between your kingdom and ours. It's nice to make your acquaintance." And a gauntlet clad in hand is extended to you by Rundell, and he offers to shake your hand.
Of course I'll shake his hand. We're having a meeting. Two respected generals in the field, you know.
And you look at his regalia, and he's like a big. He's kind of old too. He's like a big brain guy. But you're again, I assume you're sizing people up. Mm-hmm. You could kill this dude, but again, you couldn't kill them all.
That's how Drei looks at everybody. Yeah. Can I kill him? I can kill him.
I still got Jathel outside.
That's true. But that's kind of the vibe, is that they've got the numbers, right?
Yeah.
They've got the quantity. You guys have
the quality.
You're younger,
I don't know if this is something Drei would look for or even notice, but like, does the stuff that they're putting out look like they're showing off? Or is it more of like, we've got really good shit? Or is it like, look how good our shit is and look how cool we are?
Well, I was going to ask the general to show me around just so I could inspect everything that's being done because, the king's coming and I'm his guard.
Yeah.
It's a normal request.
He shows you.
Wait, hang on. I'm going to look at him and be like, hang on, I want to grab my second in command. I'm going to yell Jathel and have her come in with me. So I'm not there by myself.
She's notorious though, too. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Shit.
Jathel walks in with the 2 other kind of elite guards that you have,
Yeah.
And when I say an elite guard, I mean,
level 5.
Second level. You guys are a force, right?
Yeah.
And let's have Rundell make a knowledge check. Oh, interesting. I need you to make a perception check right now.
An 18 on the die plus 11. So 31. Is that right? 30? Why can't I math?
29.
29. I'm like looking at it going, 29?
Rundell, who's played by Michael Clark Duncan, by the way, he goes, "Emissary, it's That's what he says, nods to her, and he commences with the tour. And there's not a ton. There's a buffet table off to the side. And again, they're trying to make it nice. There's furniture. It's not antique furniture, but it's not cheap
The
shit.
question that I have that I think like Brad was wanting to know, is it good quality or is it just flashy, look at me?
Like they're trying to stroke us, or is it like good shit?
Yeah.
It's medium.
Okay.
It's medium quality. It's not shitty stuff, but it's also not like antique expensive stuff.
Which I can understand because we're in a fort in the middle of nowhere. I can't see a
it's
king
decent.
dragging all the good stuff
Decent.
out.
It's comfortable. You catch glimpses out the northern wall, and against the delta, against the rivers, are a couple tents that have been set, like large, like settlement temporary tents that they have there. So you clock that. So you don't know what else is in those tents and stuff, but that seems to be the situation.
So do I get a feel of like everything's okay? Is everything like just by talking to these guys?
But what I would give you is a sense motive check, to your perception check, to just kind of, what's the vibe?
So 16 on a dice plus 11, so that's 25. Is that right?
They're as scared of you
Fucking
as you
shit.
are of them. That's what's going on.
Well, I'm not really afraid of them because I've been sizing them up.
Well, yeah, but you guys there's a chess game going on. You guys are both taking care as you're coming together for this. And you're both kind of like,
But it's all respectful.
dancing.
Yeah.
But they seem prepared for you guys to cause a ruckus as you guys are prepared for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're not, it looks like Noleski Sertova is going to be here in like 2 days, you think?
Yeah. So I'm just going to talk to the general. I'm going to be like, we're going to go outside, set up camp in the front. You guys clearly have your camp in the back. Have a good night. If you need our help with anything, let us know. And we're going to walk out.
He goes, you got it. And as you're leaving, he says, Colme, it's an honor to make your acquaintance. What did it feel like to shoot the Stag Lord through?
Well, it was amazing. Check out this cool hat I got. And then I'm just going to bow to him and walk out.
That's hella tight.
Hella tight, brah. It's super sweet.
Bruh.
But yeah, so it's completely respectful.
Yeah.
No hard feelings. We're just going to go outside and pop a tent.
Okay. You do this thing. You've got about a day and a half probably until Sirio Sertova is set to arrive. What do you guys do? I mean, are you just vibing over there, kind of keeping watch? What's up?
Brad's only a mile downstream, so I'm going to go walk down. We're going to act like we're going on a patrol, or we're going to walk down and see Brad, see how he's doing. See Mitchell, make sure everything's going right. Make sure we don't need any help with anything. I'll pull Mitchell aside and give him the skinny on what I feel about.
You come upon one of those, what is it when the U.S. military just rolls a bridge out over a river? It's like something crazy like that's going on. You're just like, what the fuck? What's happening here?
Yeah, like I said, I'll just find Mitch, pull him aside, and sit him down and be like, all right, this is what we observed. This is what we think's happening.
Mitch has a cooler, kind of like a Iron Man had in the limo. Like it's just this box, and he presses a button, and like a little tray pops out with a couple beverages, chilled out. Have a seat.
Meanwhile, Sirio and Lindsay and Ogjulinus and Tompton are traveling together. You didn't take Jubilast with you too, did you? I don't think so.
Nah, we left. I'm sure he's running Dundry Sundries. He couldn't get away.
I mean, all little people were invited, but if he doesn't want to come, or if we can only bring one NPC, I guess I would pick Lindsay.
Yeah, you guys have two, so because you got Jathal out there too, which I'm thrilled with. I think that is fantastic. But yeah, usually I like to contrive one NPC for you guys. So yeah, Lindsay's there. She's like, hey y'all. Hey y'all. Communication though. I mean, you're not able to hear from these guys. You set out according to plan.
We know the route they're going to take, so as the procession goes by, we'll jump in with the king because of course Mitch and I are going to be at the meeting.
Do you send a courier back to meet him? Down the road, maybe on day 3 or even day 2, a courier hits Sirio as he's coming toward Fort Serenko.
We'll fill out a document and outline everything that I've told Mitchell, and then just be like, here, give this to the king. Tell him we'll meet him a mile outside of town, before he goes in.
Well, so you get this note from a loyal courier. The data in this, the information in this, is per se 2 days old at this point. It's so interesting. I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes, but you get an all clear from Drei.
Yeah. So I think we brought along 8 house guards with us.
Yeah.
We're going to send 5 back. So it's just 1 for each of us. And we'll, instead of them being guards, we'll say there are not our errand boys, but like a steward type person rather than like an armed guard.
There are squires.
Because I'm not carrying all this stuff. I'm someone else carry that.
Okay, you're the king. You don't have to. You should be in a horse-drawn cart.
Days pass uneventfully. You know, maybe you see a mastodon on the road or whatever those were called, one of those gigantic moose or something, but you just, you know, kill it or run it off. I mean, who knows? You're 6th level, you know, you should be 7th, arguably. You can walk the stolen lands just fine. The morning of the meeting, you arrive at Fort Serenko. I didn't think it would take us 45 minutes to get to Fort Serenko, but I enjoyed that very much. That was fun.
That was a good.
That's good.
That was fun. It was good catching up with these guys too. Like, it's been a while. I'm a little disappointed that the first thing we did was split the party, though. Like, we didn't get taken advantage of. But like, wow, that was a bold move to start with.
Sirio, the fort is in front of you. You can get there, or you know, you got a couple hours before the time. You know, the meeting is to take place at 3 p.m. It's midday right now. So you're a couple hours early.
Yeah, so really at these fortifications, just kind of take a look around, note what our avenue of escape is. You know, I want to test out the boats because I'm not really a seafaring type of dude. I want to make sure I can get into the boat and secure myself while someone else rows or paddles or steers. And really after that short little inspection, we'll go up to the tents that are set up right outside and wait there.
Noleski's tents or your tents?
Our tents.
And when we get there, Dry's going to walk him through, you know, the escape routes, what we have planned in case shit goes sideways, how to get out of the fort, where we're going to move him, who's going to do what.
Love it. You do this, and you're in the tent. The accommodations are fine. It's nice, you know, keeps the sun off you. It's nice and cool. You got Mitch's cooler there. You guys are all there. Lindsay and Jathel are there. You guys are reunited. Everything seems copacetic. And eventually, outside the tent flap, one of your guards says that Rundell is here to speak. And we're like 30 minutes from 3 p.m. at this point.
It's up to the king if he wants to let him in the tent at this point.
Right.
Yeah, show him in.
Okay, Rundell comes in and he goes, I'm here to ask about a lunch order. We have roast beef, we have brined turkey, and we have pheasant. And we can make those into sandwiches, and condiments we're light on, but we do have a Keonan mustard, and we have horseradish. No cheese, unfortunately.
Well, that all sounds amazing. And I've got the glad hand feat, so I'm going to try to make an immediate impression with Rundell.
All right.
See how that goes. So on my Diplo check, I got a 24.
Oh,
see if I can make an impression on him.
Yeah.
Really, where I'm discussing, you know, the differences between the different types of meats that he offered, and I'm going into great detail about each one.
You take Rundell up to friendly with you from neutral. Ooh. But you also think it's strange that the general's in taking a lunch order. It's weird, right?
It's different.
It's weird. Like you wouldn't have Drei do that, right? You know?
No.
Drei wouldn't do that.
You like him though, I think. I mean, well, let me say this. He comes across to you as likable. Yeah. He's a good man.
And then I guess I don't know if I can recall knowledge about what, if any of those are a specialty of Brevoy, because that's the one I'd want to pick.
Oh, make a society check. Or if you've got a lore, do it.
I've got politics lore, and then I've also got a little bit of society.
Society.
15.
Your dad recalled Furio is your dad's name, right?
Furio, yeah.
Furio Sertova. Man, I get a free 0 check for pulling that one out of nowhere. Furio Sertova discussed the brined turkey of New Stetsven as a specialty, and you know Noleski is from New Stetsven.
That's what we'll go with, the brined turkey.
Very good, sir. He leaves, and time passes, and eventually another courier comes and asks you to follow him, and he says, King Noleski is ready to receive you. Center of the fort. Thank you for coming this way. Do you walk out?
Yeah, I mean, we all, and I'm bringing Drei, Og, Mitch, and Lindsay.
Drei and Mitch are in front, like two in front, 2 on the side, him in the middle.
Mm-hmm. All right, here comes Noleski coming through the northern opening into the fort. You're coming through the southern opening into the fort. Noleski walks with a dozen guards, 6 on his left, 6 on his right. He's played by Jeff Bridges. Bearded Jeff Bridges.
Another Iron Man callback. All right.
Yeah.
Another Iron Man callback. And walking to his right, it's got to be Natala Sertova, his sister. She walks with him. They're darn near linking arms. It's weird. 6 soldiers to the left, 6 soldiers to the right. They're dressed in like red and golden regalia. Very fancy. He heads for the table. He waves to you warmly, and he goes, King Sirio Zertova, in the flesh. It's good to see you. And he heads, big belly coming down. This is heavy Jeff Bridges, okay? And he heads for his chair. He sits down, creaks under him. He's got a belt. He undoes it a little bit, and he's looking comfortable. His regalia back behind him, his like big kingly cape is like getting dragged through the dust. This dude does not care.
Gods, I was strong.
Oh,
Gods,
yeah.
I was strong.
Yeah, yes, right. Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah, and he's just like, come sit down, And you're walking in as he's walking in. What I want to end with is your first words to Noleski Sertova as you come in.
Yeah. So is it a singular table, or what's the setup kind of?
It is what it is it's 2 conference room sized tables that have been pushed together. Okay. They're of equal size, equal accommodation. They could be pulled apart. I don't know why they would, but it's large. So what we've ended up with is like a large rectangular table. There's like 6 seats on Noleski's side and like 6 on your side, all lined up. But Noleski and his sister are the only 2 inhabiting them. Rundell stands nearby, and his guard stands nearby.
Yeah, so I'll walk up to the table, and I'll do a kind of a flourish with my dragon cape. So while doing that, kind of glad hand, and yeah, with my initial diplomacy check, it's okay, 25 on that one to make an impression.
He goes, good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too, cousin. And then I go in for the bro hug.
Yes.
He stands up, his mass and his weight flows up with him, and
he's a large fellow.
He catches you in a warm embrace, but the smell on him is unfamiliar. And I will see you guys in 118.
Smell like
the
crime.
Smell is unfamiliar?
I sniffed him. Oh, that's what plotting and treachery smells like.